that was after.
Oh, Jesus, you about to say Nebling?
Well, I assume that's what you said.
Yeah, I remember that's kind of where I met him. Yeah, oh my God. Look, that guy was a quack, but when I got hit by that car, man, he put me back together again. Like, yeah. I was riding my bike and a car got me, and I was in a bad spot with insurance, and I was like, look, I'll do web design for you in exchange for medical. And the exchange was not even. Like, he gave way more than I did. Yeah, like I must have done like $2,000 worth of web work, and he probably did like $10,000 worth of medical stuff. He wanted to try shit. He wouldn't. Yeah, look, it's better than like sitting there getting worse. I mean, yeah, like
yeah. Now that it's no work.
Yeah, like, excuse me.
Hello, everybody. Beautiful sunny day. It was funny because as I'd been here for a while, I've been here probably since 2:45, and as everybody's coming in, I could just feel the heat radiating off of everybody. So it's nice to be here in the air conditioning. Welcome, everyone, for our service this afternoon, and those who are watching online as well. We have a couple of birthdays to celebrate that I'm aware of, and if there are any others, please let me know that are within the next few days. Today is our Reverend Julie Dillon's birthday. Yay! And the 29th, which I think is Tuesday, is Marty's birthday. Happy birthday. So let's sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
Nice. So let's begin with our opening song. If you can, if you're able, please stand. And the song is on the front cover of your songbook.
Father, Mother, God, your kingdom come, your holy will be wholly done. Spirit, source of love, your children sing, flow through us now in everything, every day, in every way. Our prayer is this: everywhere, let love be there, and so it is. Father, Mother, God, your kingdom come, your holy will be wholly done. Spirit, source of love, your children sing, flow through us now in everything. Father, Mother, God, your children pray, beloved in us in every way.
Please be seated. let's bring our minds down into our hearts and put your hand on your heart if that feels good, just to bring our attention to this center, this sacred space. And let's begin to relax. Drop your shoulders, soften your jaw. Take a few relaxing breaths. And let's take our 3 deep breaths with an audible ah. Breathing in. Breathe in. Breathe in. And now let's bring our full awareness to the Divine One, the all that is that moves through us, as us, into this world. Free of the past and free of the future, we trust fully in this precious present moment, affirming our eternal spirit, growing brighter, stronger, and wiser. Showing up for ourselves and for each other with loving kindness and compassion. We acknowledge that each day is a gift, an opportunity to release fear and to welcome calm and peace. We affirm our power to choose to create a peaceful, joyful story. And with minds free of resistance, we open to all possibilities, to new beginnings. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you so much. And now let's give Corey a warm welcome for some of his very special music.
Well, thank you. This is a love song to the Spirit. I think I've done this before. A love song to Spirit, a prayer of faith and of truth. This is called Prayer of Trust. Oh, Spirit, I love you. I let go and trust you, allowing your vision to show me the way. Oh, Spirit, you love me. You rise up and flood me, abounding in wisdom to enlighten this day. I open my heart now and find you as ever. I don't need to seek you, you're always right here, within me, around me, my infinite center, the truth of my being, in whom all is clear. Oh, Spirit, I love you. I let go and trust you, allowing your vision to show me the way. Oh, Spirit, you love me. You rise up and flood me, abounding in wisdom to enlighten this day. I open my heart now and find you as ever. I don't need to seek you. You're always right here, within me, around me, my infinite center, the truth of my being, in whom all is clear. I open my heart now and find you as ever. I don't need to seek you. You're always right here, within me, around me, my infinite center, the truth of my being, in whom all is clear. Oh Spirit, I love you, I let go and trust you, allowing your vision to show me the way. Let it be so. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Really beautiful. Is that one of yours?
It is.
Beautiful. We're going to sing a song together again, one of our fellowship songs. The composer of which is here today with us, and it's our dear Reverend Lucille Olson. And she wrote this during her School of Ministry years as one of her projects. So let's turn to page 3 and stand and sing We Have the Power.
Our thoughts have power, our words have power. The things we think and say create our state of mind. Imagination, what we envision, will tell the mastermind what we would like to find. We have the power, we have the wisdom, we have the senses that will help create the vision. Let's use our mind at full capacity to make the world a better place to be. Our thoughts have power, our words have power. The things we think and say create our state of mind. Imagination, what we envision, will tell the mastermind what we would like to find. We have the power, we have the wisdom, we have the senses that will help create the vision. Let's use our mind at full capacity to make the world a better place to be. Let's make our world a better place to be.
And before you sit down, let's take this time to give each other greetings, hugs, and handshakes.
think that I regenerate. Oh, yeah, you just got the doctor's health results Friday night, so Monday morning.
Kelly's husband, John, is a physical therapy, at least an assistant. He works in the clinic, and he's also an athletic trainer.
Really?
Yeah. I'll text her tomorrow morning and ask her if Josh is
Yeah, that's a big part too, is
because he also has athletic training and stuff, you know. I heard him back from coming home from Maine, and I'm still, my hip is still whack. I know, and your kids, and you're young, they won't take you as far.
I need to hear that. I told myself I'll stop there for a month and
Just stop doing or do the things that, which is, yeah.
No.
Right.
I figure all the love is good, so I'll just let it go. Okay. We are going to welcome our speaker today, our beloved. Hope you can receive that. beloved Reverend John Taylor. Please give him a warm welcome.
Hi, thanks everyone for the applause, and yeah, I love you too, and Mary and everyone else. So, okay, so today we're going to be talking just a bit about spiritual transitions. What does that look like? What's the benefit of it? What happens if you're not quite ready to make a next step? And hopefully everyone gets something out of this. So, like the first thing I want to talk about is I'm going to be talking about this linearly. Like first there's this, then there's this, then there's, but this is not like a linear process. And it's like, okay, right. I don't know how to describe this. Like imagine a graph with many like lines on it. Some are going up, some are going down. Like you can be going up in some areas and be going down in others. So it's not just like this, like it's always going up across the board. And you know, just you know, don't, wherever you're at, there's beauty in it. So don't hear anything I'm saying as like a moralistic message or anything like that. Because for me, like, okay, especially recently, it's felt like society has been really petty lately. Like we're looking at the wrong stuff as a culture. And we're not talking about things that we need to be talking about to grow up. Like, and so that's what I think for me, the best thing I can do, and I can't speak for anyone else, the best thing I can do is exactly like use my mind at full capacity and tell myself how I want to grow up and how I want to presence a higher love in scary times. There's scary times. I'm living in a scary time. A lot of people are living in a scary time. And I'm a white man. So I'm like the most protected person. Like speak on it. Like I can only imagine how terrifying it would be. Anyway, it's not why you get it, right? So, all right. So I think that all spiritual teachings, if they're accurate and they're for real, and they don't even really necessarily need to be labeled as spiritual, just like how there are a lot of oceans around the world, all of them taste like salt. Okay, and that's like what we do here at the fellowship. A lot of paths, a lot of ways up the mountain, a lot of ways to truth. And I think that all real teachings of the heart lead you to a place of higher love, higher compassion, and just a greater degree of freedom. So that's what I think. One of the things that's important before we get into like the transition part is to talk about being here. In my meat house is called John. It carries my spirit until something happens to it. And it's really important to get that you have been on a journey before you were born into this body. And I don't know if everyone can, like Mary said, I don't know if everyone can receive that at home and in the audience, but there's a lot going on selecting to be here now. And like my dear friend, a friend of the fellowship, he made his transition about 2-3 years ago, Taylor Swan, always used to say, smooth seas make for bad sailors. And he was an old Navy guy. And that's kind of what's up. Like choppy seas make for skilled sailors. Smooth seas make for bad sailors. You know, so we come here, we're in this body, and it's very loud, and it's very all the time, and we can identify with that. So like, just to give you an idea, I'm in a middle-aged body. I'm 45, and I have a middle-aged car. It's got like 120-something miles on it, 120,000 miles. Like I got a middle-aged car, right? I spend a lot of time in my car, but I don't identify as a Volvo. Does everyone get that? Like you spend a lot all the time in this, so it's super hard to not identify as this. And that's one of the pitfalls, because see, it's like being in quicksand. The more you struggle against it, the deeper you sink. So I'd like to discuss how a spiritual transition can give you enough breathing room to see yourself from the outside and hopefully just do some good stuff that hopefully leads you to a better space. And also, as a good friend of mine says, the motion is the lotion. This is a practice. Everything I'm going to say is a practice. None of this is one and done. None of this is one and done. So I am going to talk about the first sort of place that you hang out in, and this is unconsciousness. This is essentially just a real strong connection with being in your body and being in your mind and, you know, your feelings. And unconsciousness is not, once again, none of these are bad. Like there are things, like I'm unconscious of what it takes to extract rare earth minerals from the Sudan to make my phone. Like I don't know the suffering that goes into that process, but that doesn't mean it's not there. You know, so unconsciousness is a big deal, because like what happens is we're generally working on something and we can't be working on everything all at once. And I think that's like actually like a protection. Like, do you know how when like little kids go bowling, like there's bumpers on the side so they don't like gutter ball 3 feet? It's like that. Like, so you can make progress in other areas. There's protections that keep the enormous tide of spiritual information at bay so you can focus over here. So unconsciousness is not bad. But what I will say is, if you are a conscious spiritual person versus a not conscious person, you are going to leave a very different wake and cast off a very different ripple as you move through life. And that's kind of a thing to be aware of. The best analogy I could come up with from stepping out of unconsciousness into a more conscious space is, I have an 18-year-old son. Over the last 2 years, he's been learning how to drive. It's been an interesting transition to watch him go from he gets in the car and he winds up at Edru like, you know, roller skating ring, to this is a machine I can use to do stuff. And once you've bitten the apple of wisdom, once he like understands how to drive a car, he can never go back to being a little kid thrown in the back seat, not understanding how it works. It's like that, you know what I mean? And just like how in the beginning, there's like, as the parent, you're worried they're going to get into an accident or something. Like for people around you, watching you step out of unconsciousness into a higher phase of like mind, body, spirit, there's a lot of, oh, let me catch them when they're falling. But here's the thing, right? Just like how like a mom bird pushes the little baby bird out and it develops the strength from failing, you've got to let people have their process, even sometimes if it looks really ugly. You know, I'm going to say this later, but man, the number of times I personally have received mercy instead of justice while I've been on this like skin suit adventure named John has been insane. So, thank God for that, literally. Some not great things about unconsciousness is, since you're really heavily identified with the body and the mind, there's a lot of thought about how to support the body and the mind. And since you're not really in touch with the mastermind consciousness, since it's the old Brian Tracy, if it's going to be, it's up to me, and I'm going to bootstrap. Since you're in that place, you generally look at the universe and the mastermind and a God conscious as bedtime stories. They're nice things that other people have. Maybe, I don't know. One side doesn't fit all, but I can say that for myself and my own spiritual journey, one of the big turning points was realizing that the universe had my back. That was a big deal. And the thing that really is the number one thing about unconsciousness that is an important thing to remember is it is sadly kind of a waste of time. You can spend an entire lifetime being unconscious. So, just maybe consider the next part of this, which is ego death. So, what do I mean when I say ego? I just want to give a little blueprint there. That's kind of this idea that I'm an island and this body is me, and the things that I need are super important, and when I get a constant stream of the things I want, I'm happy. And when I don't get a constant stream of the things I want, I'm sad. And my life is very dependent on what's going on with who's in love with me, how much money I got in the bank, is my car running good. This laptop is about to die any second. Okay? Like, this is an old girl. So if this thing dies, you're all gonna get to see me in real time figure out how much I can do this. Anyway, so so generally what contributes to ego death is a good old-fashioned catastrophe. Something crashes through the walls of I'm handling it so powerfully and so forcefully that even your ego consciousness is yeah, maybe we should get some help. It's like we need a bigger boat. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, this is really not good. And it's in this moment that a lot of recovery circles call rock bottom. When you are in what I have termed ego death, there's generally a period of reflection. You start looking at who you are, what you stand for, what your beliefs are, what patterns are you in? Do they help you? And more importantly, does the society that you're living in currently reflect the highest and best good? Does the society you're living in currently reflect the highest and best good? You said it, not me. I'm talking for the fellowship, so yeah. Anyway, the ideas of race, gender, age, social class, these all start to fall away during ego death. You have less identification with the skin suit. You have less identification with the skin suit's achievements. I have a really good doctor. She was fired because she wasn't making enough money for the hospital. I remember calling her Dr. K. She says, don't call me that. Titles are a handhold for people that don't really want to connect with people. Just call me Kalon. Anyway, so that was a cool thing to see someone identify. Right. And the desire to look good really loses a lot of value. You are a lot more I am who I am, 24/7, like it or not. Okay, ego death is not pleasant. All right, let's just get that out there for our conversation. Ego death is not pleasant. In fact, the ego, that body consciousness, will fight back so hard during ego death, it will make you believe that you are actually gonna die if it dies. There's this scene in The Lord of the Rings where one of the kings gets taken over by an evil wizard. And there's a part where Gandalf the White is trying to knock the bad guy out of possessing this king. And he says, if I die, Theoden goes too. Okay, obviously not a lot of Lord of the Rings fans. But anyway, it's like that. It's like if I'm going down, I'm going to sink this whole boat. And it feels like that. And so this is why if this was easy, this place would be the Breslin Center right now. Okay, this is hard work. And, you know, it takes real grit to push through to the next level. This is a cool quote, and I was surprised. I'd heard this in recovery circles for years and years, and this is from Marilyn Monroe. Sometimes when things are falling apart, they're actually falling together. I had no idea she actually said that, but that was a cool little factoid I picked up in the research for this. Okay, so this begins the next phase, which I've termed the journey. And you know you've reached the journey when you are able to look at the ego and say, okay, that's not actually me. That might be a part of me, but it's like the analogy of the little kid. He's riding in the back and he's throwing Doritos and screaming about how he wants to go to McDonald's, but that's not where the car's going to go. You know, that's two different, there's the adult driving and then there's the kid saying, I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Like it's two different things. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's the thing. And you have a deep desire during the journey to create spiritual connection, to seek spiritual teaching, to find the wisdom of people that have gone before you. I remember one of the more powerful spiritual experiences I had. The message from what I have called the One was powerful allies will be put in your path to help guide you. Because I was very concerned about not having the resources myself to do this mission. I was like, well, I'm just one guy. How am I going to? It's like, I got you. I got you. You're not the first one, and there'll be people behind you that need your help. So keep going, because you haven't met them yet. Okay, the journey takes years, decades, sometimes multiple lives. So patience and practice, mission critical. You need them both. Compassion from all sides. Compassion from all sides. It is super important to understand that everyone on the journey has been both the hero and the villain. And most of the time they bounce in between. So you have to keep room in your heart for yourself as you're imperfect, and you have to keep room in your heart for other people as they're finding their own way. I think a lot of people are on the journey and they don't even realize it right now. You start to soften up, and, you know, I said it once, I'll say it again. Being right, being happy, quotes, short-term burst of dopamine, starts to lose its appeal. You're more interested in things like peace of mind, contentment, being at peace in here. This is a great quote. Before I move on, one of the things that generally tends to happen a lot during the journey phase is there tends to be a reaching out into service work. You tend to look at the community and the world around you and say, you know, I could be doing some good here. There are ways I could help out. You know, why not me? You know, so hopefully you do that. And this is a great quote that a friend of mine used to say all the time. I sought myself, I could not see. I looked for God, he eluded me. I served my fellow and found all three. I love that one. That's fantastic. That just nails this so perfectly in just a few quick little blurbs. Okay, so moving out of the journey, or maybe you're continuing, it's weird. You never really move out of the journey, but there are benchmarks that you have gotten somewhere. You know what I mean? There's a base camp halfway up the mountain, which I like to call stepping into the authentic self. Okay, now this is a big one, because once again, yet another price needs to be paid to cross the river. And, okay, the big problem is a lot of people that engage in the journey, they want to take their spirituality, they want to take the things they learn there and make their life nice. Okay, so for example, when I'm a famous guru, I'll write a book and then move to Miami Beach. Or once I'm really super spiritual, I'll attract the love of my life because I'll be a mastermind master. Or somehow God will make me rich, or I'll convince the congregation they need to buy me a second private airplane. Swear to God, I saw it. Like I saw a video where there was a dude up there just oozing charisma talking about how he needed a second private airplane. And it was like in a place like in rural Alabama where like people are like, ugh, medicine or heating my home, you know? Like, so that's not the gig here. Okay, so like enlightenment, real enlightenment, getting somewhere is the ego's ultimate disappointment. Because once you've achieved this level of like, I call it altitude, you're looking down. You're looking down. You're halfway up the mountain and you're looking down at where you were. None of those things matter anymore. You don't need to be the most smart person in the room. You don't need to buy the best car. You don't need to be youthful and beautiful. You don't need to be the person with the best line or joke. Like none of that even works anymore for you because you're so busy turning your life into an act of giving. If any of us, all of us, could just turn our life into a giving, we would be so rich. We would be so wealthy in all the ways that actually matter. I remember going to a yoga class and the instructor used to say, may you know joy and the true causes of joy, and may you avoid suffering and the true causes of suffering. And that always stuck with me because it was like, oh, it might be like a surprise hidden inside. It might not be obvious. And, you know, the spiritual journey is an entirely different ballgame because at this point you realize the benefit that you signed up for is not what you originally signed up for. Like in the beginning, a lot of people engage in this path so they can help themselves. So they can like be a better person. But at this point, you're realizing that the stakes are so much higher than like saving your own life. Like you have an actual mission, you have an actual cause and purpose to help this planet. And when it's suffering the most, that's when it needs real heroes. And I don't use that word lightly. One of the things that I personally have found is a part of this. Okay, so I went to art school, and they told us that art is created in two ways. Addition, painting, so you take paint and you add it to a canvas so you create a masterpiece. And then there's subtraction. You start with a piece of marble and you hammer away at it until there's a statue. You know, when you get to this point of the spiritual journey, when you get to this point of stepping into the authentic self, you realize that removing is the key. Removing is the key. You are removing the blocks that stand in the way of you channeling a higher power 24/7. You're sweeping away the debris. This can be done through inventory. This can be done through journaling, heart-to-hearts with a good friend or counselor. You know, pick your confidants carefully. Some people won't understand what's happening and they'll seek distance. It's okay. It's just them being where they're supposed to. Non-judgment has become a mantra for me. I do okay. You know, and when you're in this mode where you're subtracting, there is real grief because it feels like a part of you is actually dying. You're become, as Ram Dass would say, you're becoming nobody. You keep subtracting and subtracting and subtracting until there's just nothing there. And it's like, who would want that? Why would you do that? Why would you become nobody? Why would you seek that as a spiritual objective? Okay, and so I got this graph here. I'm going to hold it up. I don't think anyone can see it, but take a look. One of them, there's a line. Okay, and the other one, there's a circle. If you want to see this, just please come up and talk to me afterward, okay? Everything over here. You got everything, okay? And that's what a lot of people like do the spiritual path for. They're hoping to get everything. And then you got nothing over here. Now, in a world of linear polarity, they're all the way over there. But see, spiritual matters, life and death cycles, thing that actually matters, they're never one big line. Like look at our seasons. They're cyclical, which means circle. Okay? Nothing, everything, they're all the way out over here. Make them into a circle. What are they? They're right next to each other. You've got nothing and everything at the same time. It's all going on at the same time. It's all happening at the same time. That is what aligned living, in my mind, is. Aligned living is when you are able to understand the freedom that comes from needing nothing and having everything. It's a weird space to be in. And you are certainly at this point, if you have traveled this far, way to go, because you are breathing some rare air. Every now and again, I see it. I'm not there, but I can see it from here. And it makes me excited about the path getting there. It's cool. You start to understand phrases like, I am the I am. Like I remember being in a yoga class and someone's like, we're just going to meditate on that for an hour. I'm like, great, what a waste of time. Now I kind of get it a little bit. You are the Brahma. You are the Godhead. You are the person that is in charge of masterminding and creating on this plane of consciousness. I have given you the keys of the kingdom. Well done, my good and faithful servant. It's like, here you go. Since you have shown the restraint, discipline, love, and compassion to have this great tool, I'm giving it to you. And it's an honor. And it's also a responsibility because, it's like the Spider-Man thing. With great power comes great responsibility. When you have stepped into an aligned life, I have noticed that your energy changes. The people that want to be around you change. There's a sweetness, there's a gentleness, there's an excitement, there's a youthful gait in your step that can't really be emulated through getting nice stuff. You know what I mean? Like you get a car, you drive it to Myers and you're like, oh wow, I got a Corvette. And then someone opens their door and they put a dent in the Corvette. Oh man, now it's trash. You know what I mean? You're so at the mercy of everything around you. But when you're in this state where you make an abode for the divine, right here, nothing can take that away. You can be under the most extreme pressure and still know. You can feel all the feelings too. I'm not going to sugarcoat, right? I know people are in here going through real stuff right now. But you know that there's a higher wisdom. You know that there's a higher love that is wrapping its arms around you. It's like an aura almost. I don't know if people believe in that, but if someone ever been in the room where someone who emits tangible power walks through the door. In a good way. Not oh man, that guy's a jerk, but whoa. Yeah. One of the big things about aligned living that I'm trying to work on is seeing the world through the lens of compassion on all sides. So quick show of hands. Do people know what I mean when I say compassion on all sides? Does anyone know what that means? Okay, it's like a Buddhist psychology teaching that means if someone is behaving out of character with their highest self, they are doing the best they can with the mind they've got right now. And they might be in the process of figuring out a different and better way to do that. And so having compassion for their journey takes a lot of effort. In fact, it takes all of your effort and every little bit you have to give. And this is what an enormous part, I have to believe, really profound spiritual teachers, throughout history and modern day, they spend a lot of time doing. They are so involved with elevating themselves that they've got enough to spare to hand out to everyone. It's sort of it's kind of like that story about the loaves and the fishes with Jesus. It's hey, I've got so much to give and it'll never run out. And, one of the things that I think is really super important in this process is just to remember that love is the answer. Love is the key to unlocking all this. Self-love, love for other people, love for your community, love for your family, love for yourself. I mean, these are really lofty benchmarks we're talking about today. And everyone in here, everyone out there, you're all perfect right where you're at. And I do definitely mean that. And you're right where you're supposed to be. Don't hurry, don't worry, don't compare. This is all being done by divine appointment. Everyone gets their chance, And I think I'd like to do a little meditation. Okay, cool. So Corey, can you help me out? Thank you, buddy. All right, so let's just relax. And I'm gonna relax. I'm talking fast up here. And let's take a few deep breaths. And I'd like to thank everyone for being here, truthfully and honestly from the bottom of my heart, and sharing this sacred space in this sacred place, and creating this beautiful spiritual community that we all draw inspiration and hope and love from. It really, really would not be the same without each and every one of you. So thank you. And let's just stop for a second and just consider the path that it took to get here. What happened today, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, that led you to this sacred moment here? And learning kind of what we've learned about reaching up and being a home of love and divine light, what would be one courageous step you could take today, a week from now, a month from now? Help you and the people around you get some of that higher love. The answer is going to be different for every person here, but it's going to be just as meaningful for every person here. And then maybe take a moment to send that part of you, that spiritual traveler, some divine gratitude. Because man, it has been a bumpy road. And there's been a lot of ups and downs and friends made along the way and people that aren't with us that have gone before us to help pave a path into the next adventure. And send them gratitude. And send yourself some gratitude for showing up. Not just here at the fellowship, but every day for your spiritual well-being. In my opinion, is the greatest investment any human being can make. And just take a minute to soak in those feelings, to let anything that resonated from today's service connect with you. And let's just take a nice deep breath into that. And when you're ready, maybe wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Just kind of come back to the room, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. Love you all. Yep.
Thank you, John. That was wonderful. Lots and lots of good reminders that's why we come here. To be together and to be reminded. Thank you so much. So this is the time in our service when I like to invite everyone to just fill our hearts with gratitude and appreciation for all of the blessings and gifts in our lives. The gifts and blessings of our friends and family and of this amazing fellowship that we share. And those who contribute generously to this spiritual community, we all together thank you. So, actually, Actually, we didn't. I don't think John's going to be coming around with the basket today, although we're so glad that he's here with us today. Richard, could you do it for us? Thank you. A reminder, too, that you can put your prayer card in the basket as it comes around, and it will also find its way to our prayer team. So take a moment to think about that and put that in the basket. And thank you again for all of your generous donations. I'm going to let Corey guide us today. He said he had something different planned for us, and so
Thanks,
go ahead.
As the basket comes around, I'd like to share a simple breathing meditation that I've been enjoying, that I'm finding very revitalizing and relaxing. It's maybe not so much a meditation or an exercise, but a simple shift in attention. And all it is really is just changing the order in which we think of breathing itself. I know my normal idea of respiration, even in breath work or our fellowship breath, has always been inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We breathe in, we breathe out, we pull breath in, and then we release it. But what if just for a moment we reversed that? What if we thought of breathing as an exhale, inhale, breathing out first, fully emptying ourselves, pushing it all out. And then from that place of open emptiness, feeling the breath naturally rise to fill the space with almost no effort on our part whatsoever. I think we can probably wrap it up from there. I just want to give you that to think about. Just think about exhaling first, just pushing it all out. And then from that place, breathing in, let the breath rise naturally. I'll leave you with that for now.
Thank you, Corey. I'd like to invite you now to bring out your bulletins and read with me the blessing of our tithes and offerings. It's right on the front. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. And let's take another moment to close our eyes and go within. And wrap our loving energy around all those mentioned in the basket today. All those beautiful beings, situations, and conditions. We can hold the space for them. The space of knowing that truly all is well. And that everything they need is available to them. And our love finds its way into their hearts, opening their hearts and minds to this knowing. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you so much. Corey?
When I'm wandering in the world, lost in the grand illusion, I see the light unfurl, shining through all this confusion, and I remember I'm already home. When I'm wandering in the world, lost in the grand illusion, I see the light unfurl, shining through all this confusion. Then I remember I'm already home, holy and whole. No matter how far I seem to roam, I always find I was home all the time. When I'm struggling in fear, in the light of separation, the truth of unity I hear. I am one with all creation. Then I remember I'm already home, holy and whole. No matter how far I seem to roam, I always find I was home all the time. I'm already home, spirit alone. No matter when or where I seem to go, I always find I was home all the time. I always find I was home all the time. I always find I am home all the time. I am home. I am home. I am home. I am home. Thank you.
A really, really wonderful service this afternoon. Thank you, Corey, for your beautiful music. Thank you so much. Thank you, John, for your wonderful message. Really great. And, as John said, and I try to mention as often as I can, it's all of you that make this possible, and all of your loving energy in this room is so appreciated by each and every one of us. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, watchers online as well. I just have a few announcements, and then we can go in and have our potluck. So please stay for that afterwards. We have a Waldemar walk coming up with Reverend Sue Quinn, yes. Just thumbs up for that. August 3rd, first Sunday in August at 12:30. Just meet in the parking lot at Waldemar, and Sue will find you. We have Death Cafe coming up the middle of August, the 16th at 2 p.m. right here in this building. We also have something interesting that we've done is Meet Our Neighbors, August 10th. All of the people, we've invited the people with the Matthew Ryan Salon, which is right next door here, that's in the gates. Some of you have parked over there, I believe. We're inviting them to service on August 10th, and then afterwards they're inviting us to see their facility, and just a nice neighborly get to know each other after service. So we're really welcoming that. And Healing Movements every Monday at 4 p.m. Julie, do you just want to quickly say a few words about what is Healing Movements like? What do we do?
It would be a gentle yoga.
Gentle yoga.
Yes. And
Stretching.
Right. It's just and we have a little meditation and breath.
It really is a beautiful thing. And Julie is so good about just monitoring everybody's abilities, and you can do that at the rate that you can, and that's really wonderful. So thank you, Julie, for providing that. Every Monday, 4 p.m. right here in this building. So let us now get into our peace circle, say our closing blessing, and then enjoy our potluck together.